Okay, I'm here with John Willis again, and we're here at DevOps Days 2. And John, you are at a company formerly known as Enstratius. So, and what are you all now?
We are Enstratius. Enstratius.
Yeah, there you go.
Add the I.
So, what do you all do? Can you talk a little about?
Yeah, so we're, classically we call cloud management, right? Basically, it's the things that you have to do on top of basic cloud structure, right? Cloud structure, object stores, compute store, some level of provisioning. What we try to manage, so originally what we managed, the kind of table stakes for us, things like auto scaling and auto recovery, but that's not really our core function. It's basically things like governance and budget control of resources, being able to govern accounts, being able to federate, consistent logging. So one of the things that Enstratius does is we use a common open source API structure for, like, I think it's 25 or 30 clouds we support now. And so our product then uses that. So everything that you do, from an audit control, who you are, a traceability, logging, no matter what cloud you work with, is all going to go through that same function. So we have this kind of nice governance matching model with, and what it turns out is you get this kind of federated relationship with resources. So compute is compute, storage is storage, object store is object store, network is network, and so what you allow your customers to do is to come in. So your admins can kind of define things in a way that, like, for example, I'm going to give these customers this form of compute, this form of storage, with these kind of budget and these kind of restrictions. And then also, we also put recess level role-based access. So, like, not only I give you compute, which under the covers might be Amazon, but your customer, it doesn't care. But we might only say that you can only pause instances that you started. Right? Or you can only delete an object that you created, or you can only delete an object that's part of your group, right? So we give you this fine-grained role-based access down to a federated view of resources. And again, if you extract that to billing models, like you can only use a certain amount of resources per month, you do that in network. Who makes a security group change? A firewall change to us is a firewall change, whether it's, it's basically going to turn out to be OpenStack or Amazon. But then you think about that's all audited, controlled, and locked down from a resource role-based access level.
Cool. Now, would you guys at all interact with something like a New Relic or App Dynamics or a Riverbed, or is that completely different?
No, it comes up a lot. So we have a lot of integration points. So if you look at us out of the box, I'm going to give you a different answer, which gives you kind of a lead into that answer. So one of the things that we focused on kind of early on in the integration space was on configuration management. So, for example, we have direct integration with Chef and Puppet. So, because one of the things I didn't talk about earlier is not only do we have all that kind of governance, federation, role-based access, we also have a built-in key management store, so encrypted key management store. That's part of our product offering. So, like, all your credentials of all your clouds, all your APIs, all your, even in the case of Chef or Puppet, those credentials, user-based SSH keys, all that stuff going there. So one of the things we have is this kind of push-button integration with Chef and Puppet. And so for Chef, for example, you can define your provisioning topology with us. And you can say, but what I want you to really do is provision this stack, this multi-tiered stack, but when you go to actually run the configuration portion, go run Chef. And so you can do that completely from Enstratius, and you can get this kind of combination of auto scaling and auto recovery, but use the best of Chef. And we don't like some other solutions in this space will force you to use kind of an opinionated version of Chef, right? We use Chef Server, we can use the open source Chef Server, we can use hosted Chef, and we basically just pull down the list of resources that Chef has in its Chef Server. We then allow you to build a run list and say, hey, Chef, we built this IP on this cloud. Go ahead and do your magic and let us know when you're done. We do the same thing with Puppet. So the goal all along is to do that same non-opinionated approach with monitoring. So right now, we work with a few of the open source tools like Graphite and things like that. But certainly, certainly like New Relic, and those are all on our roadmap, as is ServiceNow. So we're actually doing some very close integration with ServiceNow in the same
Awesome. John Willis, thank you so much.
Sure.